Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving break and you got to do something fun and got to eat a lot of great food and had a few days off from school, which was nice. So we're going to get back to learning, and we're going to start off by learning a new letter this week, the letter P, and a new sight word, the word am. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to get out our kindergarten binder. Okay, so if you don't have that, go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and grab that now. All right, so we're going to go ahead to My Name Is section, and we're going to start what we always do, practice writing our name. Okay, so you're going to need your eraser and your dry erase black marker, and go ahead and get started with writing your name. I've really noticed a huge improvement in everyone's handwriting, of samples and things that I've seen from parents and letters that I've received through the mail. I got one letter in particular, the handwriting, you could not tell the difference between an adult doing it and a kindergartner. So it's pretty amazing, you guys. I'm very impressed. And I know that the reason why your handwriting is so good is because you're working really hard on it at home. And activities like practicing writing our name, it really helps you to get better at it. So let's go ahead and practice writing our name. So we're going to go ahead, oops, didn't touch the bottom line. Go ahead and do that 4 times. And if you're wanting more of a challenge, then you can use your name writing sheet that has more empty spots in it for you to practice it more. It's up to you. I know some parents have told me that their students are working on the sheets that have where they have to write their name more, so that's pretty good. So I'm going to go through and write my name. And then this one. Now I know that I'm maybe going faster than some of you are, and that's okay. So remember that you can push pause at any time, and then you can come back and push play again when you're ready. All right, so I've written my name 4 times, so I'm going to go ahead and erase. Okay, eraser. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to go to the section that says I know my alphabet. It's the blue page for most of you. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to go all the way back to the letter P. Looks like that. Okay, so go ahead and find that in your book. And I'm turning my book sideways a little bit because it makes it easier for Mrs. R to write. So I know there's a little glare on there. It's from the camera, but I wanted to make it brighter so you can see. Okay, so capital P is pretty easy. It's one of those number 1 letters. So where it stops at the top and goes to the bottom line, and then comes back up to the top and loops around like a backwards C to the middle line. So go ahead and watch. We go down like the number 1, and then go back up and around, just like a backwards letter C. Down, and make sure you touch the top and bottom line, and then the second part of the letter P, you're going to be touching the top line and the middle. Okay. All right, and down here we're going to do it all by yourself, top to bottom, and around, and touch that middle line. It's like a backwards C. Okay. And then, of course, once we get done with our letters, we always do our Play-Doh. So we're back to making our Play-Doh rooms and making our letters. So we're going to make a capital P. And this is one of the easier letters because it has that number 1 shape in it. And the upper and lowercase look exactly the same, except they're just the lowercases. And it starts at the middle line. So but most of our lowercase letters start at the dotted middle line anyway. So. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 worms for this, one for the stick part, and another one to bend to make that loop, that backwards C. Okay, so I'm just making my worm here on the table. And here is that first part. Number 1 is from the top to the bottom line. And then I'm going to make my loop. That is from the top to the middle line. just like that. Okay. So if you're not done or you haven't started on your P with your Play-Doh, go ahead and push pause. So I'm going to save those pieces because I can use those for the lowercase p. So I'm going to flip the page over and go to the lowercase p. And you can see that the lowercase p, got some black stuff on it, starts at the middle line and goes down underneath the bottom line. So some letters do that, like Q, J, Y, and so on. So we're starting at the middle line and we're going to go down past the bottom line and then make another backward C. But this time we're starting at the middle line and going to the bottom. Okay? So down and around, down and around, down and around. And this time we're going to do it by ourselves. Start the middle line, go underneath the bottom line, and make a loop. The more you do it, the easier it will get. Okay? So I saved some of my Play-Doh worms from the last time. So you can see it. So there's my one that starts from the middle and goes down past the bottom. And then, okay. Now, okay. There we go. So there's my lowercase p. Now, if you're not done, push pause, and then you can start again with Mrs. R when you're done. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. There's my page, and then we're going to go to our letter search page. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for the letter P, and we know we're looking for the letter P because it's the letter in the box. Okay, so that tells us what letter we're looking for. So we're going to go through, and every place you see a P, you're going to circle it. So I just go down line by line until I find the letter. So, and some might look different. Remember, you're looking for that number one with the backwards C. And that will let me know that that is P. Okay, let me count how many I found. Okay, so this is the number you're looking for. You're looking for 8 letter P's. Okay. If you haven't found 8, then you need to keep looking until you found all 8. So just keep looking, and then if you're not done, go ahead and push pause. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and erase my board like that. And let's see, let's go ahead and do our word of the day. So we have new words that we're writing or learning this week for our sight word. So our new word for this week is the word am. A-M spells am. Okay, so we're going to write it, and you can choose to use whatever colors you want. So I'm going to get my bag out. Let's see, what color should I use? I think I use red and green because it's almost that time of year for Christmas. So I'm going to find my green one here somewhere in my bag of supplies. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a lowercase a. Oops, right there. And with red, I'm going to do my lowercase m. And then I'm going to build it with Play-Doh. So AM, okay. So let's see here. Let's draw out some worms. See what we do here. Okay. So here's the stem for my A. Push that up so you can see it. I just made a worm. And then here's my lowercase a. It has a straight line and loop, doesn't it? Remember that? Maybe that seems like a long time ago. And then lowercase m, it's got a short little one in it. And a lot of loops. Let's see here. So here's my first loop. One more. These are just basically, I'm making lots of worms. And then throwing them apart to make my letters. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trace it with my finger down, 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 and above, and above. So AM spells AM. That's our sight word. Okay. well, for Monday and Tuesday that we're going to practice. So if you're not done, go ahead and push pause. All right, so I erased my board. I'm going to take my card away. And now we're going to go over here. Now, this packet of high frequency words you know is probably getting pretty full, huh? And you probably still have a few in here, which is good, so you can practice those. All right. Eventually, you'll get them all into the other packet or the envelope, and you'll be so happy. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oops. Okay, let's go ahead and put our card in here. So we're going to say it. Am. A-M spells am. Now we're going to write it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pen back. Remember, lowercase m, so it goes from the middle line to the bottom, and with the letter C. Same with the lowercase m, down from the middle to the bottom, and then we make a loop and a loop, just like that. And then the bottom, around, and down, up, and up. That's the word am, like I am so proud of you. Now, if you're still working, you know what to do. Press pause. You don't need to get upset because Mrs. R is going faster than you because you have the control over. You can stop the video and pause it and then come back to us when you're ready. Okay. All right. So the next one, again, am, A-M spells am, and this is where you're going to build it with your magnetic letters. So you need to get your letters out, and then you're going to find the letter A and the letter M and build it. Okay. So go ahead and push pause now and go find your letters. And then the last time we're going to do it, we're going to say it am and spell it A-M spells am, and then we're going to build it with Play-Doh again. So there's another opportunity for you to play with your Play-Doh. So there's the bottom part of the loop. And then I need another loop for the A. Oops. Right. And then I need to make some more wings. So I have them from my pen. And so there's that part. And then do the last loop. I'm just going to bend them with your fingers. Oh, uh-oh. There we go. Came apart. Thanks. Okay, so down, and around, and then move and move. So okay. So go ahead and push pause now. If you're still forming your letters, go ahead and pause. All right, so Mrs. R is going to put my dough away because we're all done with that for now. And take my set card away. All right, so let me go ahead and move all my materials, get myself organized here. All right, so we're done with our binder. We can put that away. So now we're going to do work in our backpack there, Singing Writing workbook. Now, some of you are already done with your workbooks on workbook number 1. So some of you are working in book number 2. So you can go ahead and do that lesson with your parents. Okay. So today we are going to go to page number 6, the letter P page, and so I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look and we're going to do some reading. So let me go ahead and put this. There we go. Okay. So what we're doing is we're looking at the letter, and these words is for. We know that because we were practicing a lot. And this is the period that tells us to stop. So we have a picture of a piece of pizza, and then pushing and pulling. Okay. So let's go ahead and read this. Get your finger pointer ready to go. Okay, eyes ready? Here we go. Let's read it together. Ready and go. P is for pizza. P is for push. P is for pull. Okay, let's read it again. P is for pizza. P is for push. P is for pull. I also see another one here we could do. P is for pumpkin, right? P is for pumpkin. All right, so let's go ahead and color our picture. I'm gonna grab my crayons. Since we're talking about pizza, I'm sure lots of you guys like pizza, right? Who doesn't like pizza? I guess there's people that don't like it, but most people like pizza. I'm gonna find my red, and I'm gonna color in my letter P. P for pizza, and pumpkin, and push, and pull. You can hear that sound, because that's the sound that letter P makes, right? P says as in pizza, or P says as in pumpkin. We'll be practicing that here in just a few minutes. We'll practice with our P letter card. Okay. Can you think of any other words that make the sound at the beginning? That you can think of some. I think these are pepperonis. Oh, there you go. Pepperoni starts with P, makes the sound. Pepperoni. Puppy. Potato. What else makes the sound? Let's see. I want to color my. We have cheese on there, right? So we need to color that. So I'm going to color that a little bit. This cheese is kind of orange, yellow color, depending on what kind you have. And of course, the crust is usually kind of a golden brown, isn't it? Because it's bread, basically, and it gets toasty when it gets cooked in the oven. Let me see if I can find my brown. Goodness, it's hidden today. Where are you, Mr. Brown? Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Here's brown. Oh, perfect. Perfect starts with B. Okay, so. All right, so there's my pizza. Now I'm going to color my pumpkin. Let's see. It is pumpkin and orange, but we know that pumpkins come in lots of different colors, don't we? Some are kind of a, we call a blue moon, it's kind of a shade of blue. Some are white, some are orange, some are yellow, some are red, those are really pretty, some are a mixture of colors, so that just depends. So I can't wait to see your guys' notebooks, your workbooks here when you're all done with them, because I think they probably look pretty cool. All these pictures you colored in so nicely and all this nice work you've done. It's pretty cool to finish a whole book. And let me see here. Blanket. And let's see. And then I'm going to, let's see, I need to put over here. Show me. Alright, and then last thing I'm going to color is the wagon. Wagon's usually kind of a red color. It's red. It's orange. Wagon's usually red. I guess they can come in all colors. So most of them. And then the tires will be black. I'm going to find the black crayon. Where are you? There you are. Waiting for me. Okay. Oh, and I need to color the stem of the pumpkin green. Almost forgot that part, guys. Like that. Okay. Pumpkin stems are not white for sure. All right, so let's go ahead now and we're going to write our letter P's. Okay, so capital letter P, just like we practiced in our kindergarten notebook, starts at the top line, goes to the bottom and around, top to 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 bottom and around. Now lowercase p starts at the middle line, goes underneath the bottom line, goes to the middle and around. So down, around, down, pick up your pencil, around, down and 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 around. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the next page, which is page 7. Okay, and it says, direction number 1, P. Listen for the beginning sound. Okay. Now, if you're still working on your letter P's, you need to pause. Push pause so that you can finish that before you start this. Okay. All right, so the directions say, listen for the beginning sound. We're going to circle a picture that has the sound and put an X over the picture that does not have the sound at the beginning. So the first one here is pizza, ants. Pizza, ants. Which one has the sound at the beginning, like the letter P? Pizza has a sound. Ants does not. Okay, let's try the next one. Tent, pencil. Tent, pencil. Tent has the t. That's not the letter P. Pencil, pencil. That makes the letter P sound. Okay, let's do the next one. Pig, ball. Pig, ball. Pig has the p sound at the beginning. Ball has a b sound at the beginning. Good job, you guys. Let's keep going. So, section 2 says, listen for the ending sound. So last time we listened for the beginning of the word, the pizza. This time we're gonna listen for the ending sound. So let's try this first one. Map, map. Do you hear the p at the end of the word map? Okay. Cat, cat. I hear the t sound at the end of cat. So we're looking for something that has the p sound at the end. Map. So map has the p sound at the end. Cat has a ch sound, so it doesn't have the p. Soap, soap. Bib, bib. Soap. Soap has the p sound at the end. Soap. So we'll circle that one. Bib has a b sound at the end. Okay, so that one we will cross out. Foot, mop. Foot, mop. Foot has a t sound at the end. Mop has the p sound at the end. So foot does not have the at the end. Mop does. Okay, very good. All right, so if you're not done with this, go ahead and press pause. And if you want to, you can color these in later. Okay, so we're going to close this book and we're going to put this away. And you need to get out your new thing. It says Kindergarten Read and Write Like a Rock Star. And it's red and it looks like this has a picture of Santa and a star and a tree on it. Okay, so if you don't have this nearby, go ahead and press pause and go ahead and ask your parent to get this out for you. Okay, all right, so when we open this up, we have some directions here at the front. And this is what we're going to do. Okay, so as you finish each activity, you're going to color in the star. Okay, it says, I am reading and writing. I am a reading and writing rock star. Color the star when you complete the activity. Work hard to fill the whole chart. So as you finish these different activities, you're going to color in the star. Okay, so the first one, let's see, talks about Santa. Okay, it says Santa comprehension. So read the story, answer the questions at the bottom. So listen carefully, and Mrs. R is going to read you the story. Okay. Santa flies on a sleigh. Santa on his sleigh. He goes down the chimney. Santa. He brings us presents. He puts them under the tree. So the first question is, who flies on the sleigh? Sam, Seth, Santa, or Sarah? Who flies on a sleigh? Is it Sam, Seth, Santa or Sarah? It's Santa, right? Santa. Okay. And what does Santa bring? It says right here, he brings us presents. So we're going to write that right here. We're going to copy that word and write it here. Presents. Don't forget your period. Oh, actually, we won't need it here. We're just answering it, so we won't need it. Okay. So after you've done this, then we're going to flip the page. So if you're still working, push pause. So on the next page, we have something fun we're going to do. So Santa flies on a sleigh. So we're going to trace it, and then down here at the bottom, we're going to cut it out and glue it in to make a sentence. Okay? So Santa flies on a sleigh. So my goodness, maybe we could make like a picture here. And we put the clouds up here. Because he does fly at night, doesn't he? We can put some stars in the sky. And snow. I guess this could be snow. Put the moon up there. Put some snowflakes coming there. And there's Santa in his sleigh. Okay, so I'm going to color in my picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a dark blue because the sky is going to be really dark. I don't want to color it black because then we can't really see what's happening, and that's not. So let me get a dark blue. This one will be better. And I'm going to trace all these clouds. Sometimes it might be clouds in the sky. Go ahead and color in the picture. Now you guys could do whatever you want to do. You could put like reindeer or anything you would like to put in your picture. So it's up to you how you want. This is just how I do it. Just keeping it simple. Okay, and then trace some snowflakes. And then your two snowflakes are the same. Each one is so different. Pretty cool, isn't it? And then this one might be colored in like this. So it's just kind of like a sky, not in the sky. Maybe by clouds in the sky. Okay, and then I'm going to color this one red. Right, that's good. And then I think I'll color his sleigh in green. Why not, right? I don't know what color Santa's sleigh is. I'm just going to color it green. Just green and red go really well together. And then I think I'll use black for the bottom part. Okay, perfect. All right, so when you're done with the picture, then you can just, if you're still working on it, just go ahead and press pause until you're done, okay? All right, so we are going to go ahead. It says here we need to write, so we're going to trace this sentence. Santa flies on a sleigh. Now, the one thing I noticed, we make sure to make that period nice and big because we need that at the end of our sentence, don't we? All right. So if you are still working on your writing your sentence, then go ahead and push pause so that you can get done, and then you can push play when you're ready to finish with Mrs. Olive. Okay. All right. So for this next part, you are actually going to need scissors and glue. I don't think we've used glue like hardly at all this year. So You're going to need scissors and glue. So go ahead and get your scissors and glue out. Okay. And so for this bottom part down here, it says to cut, and then here it says to glue. So I'm going to turn my paper sideways, and I'm just going to cut off this whole piece right along the bottom here, just like that. Okay. I'm going to cut that whole piece off so that we just have this part, this over here, so that you can see that. Okay, so we're just going to have that. Santa flies on his sleigh. So after you cut this out, you're going to cut on the dotted lines. See all these dotted lines? You're going to cut right on those dotted lines. And if you get stuck or need some help, you can ask an adult. So Mrs. R is just cutting right on the lines, just like that. And then I'll have a little piece of scrap left that I can recycle. Okay, so I'm going to put that over there for now. So I'm cutting apart right on the dotted lines. Try to cut nice and straight. Do your best. And what Mrs. R always says, do your best. And so then I've got all these words. Let's see, let's lay them out here. Let's see if I have them in order. Let's see, let's take a look. A flies on sleigh Santa. Does that make sense? No. That's out of order. Let's see, let's look, because it says here, Santa flies on a sleigh. So I need to find first what word? Santa. Oh, does that look like the same? Does that look the same? Yeah, it does. So I'm going to go put a little bit of glue, and I'm going to glue that in that spot there, Santa. Now the next word is flies. Does that look like the word? It does. It looks exactly the same. So I'm going to stick that right there. Santa flies on, that's a sight word, isn't it? You know that one. That's the word on. Santa flies on, what sight word is that? What does that say? A. Right? Santa flies on a. Santa flies on a what? On a sleigh, right? Santa flies on a sleigh, and you can see that those two words match. There we go. So let's go ahead and read it. Santa flies on a sleigh. Great. So now, if you're done with that, and if you're not done, go ahead and press pause. So we're going to go back to the beginning, and we get to color in because we did the Santa story. So let's color in that star. So we finished that one. And our goal is to finish all of them. And then we did the writing. And we didn't do the books, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that. That's fine. So we did these two parts. So we're not going to worry about this. So Mrs. R is going to go ahead and draw one. So don't worry about that. So we did these two. So now we just have a few more to do. All right. Very good. So you can go ahead and mark those off. And you can also write your name in here where it says N-A-M-E. That word spells name. So you're going to write your name. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish that and put that over here. Great. So I'm all done sharing my screen. So I hope you guys enjoyed that new writing that we have. It's something different. And if you want to go back to the other December writing journal, we have a different one. You can ask your mom and dad. It's up to you. So you can do that if you prefer to do that one. But I thought this was something kind of fun. So before we go, I'm going to share my screen one more time. We're going to go review our letter and sight word that we learned. Okay. All right. So our letter that we learned today was the letter P. And P says as in pumpkin. It also says as in pizza. Okay. Hello. Peach. And okay. So P says as in pumpkin, pizza. You can see the P at the front. Pillow, peach, and paper. So I'm going to pull this off of here. And then we're going to go ahead and review our sight words that we've learned. We're going to start with our new one. So A-N spells Anne, okay? So Mrs. R is going to put sight words down, and as I pull them up, you try to read them, okay? So this is Anne. Up, in, at, on, so, me, and, I, you, the, my, see, a, we, oops, to, like, is, no, can, be. Now just look at all of these sight words, you guys. You have learned so many words. There are so many cards here. It's so amazing that you've learned all of these words. And some of us are still working on a few of them, and that's okay. So I'm so proud of you guys. You just are learning so much, and you are getting so bright, learning to read. And even if you're not reading it, that's really okay. You've still got a long time. We're going to learn to read together. And you're learning to write and be independent and do so many fun things on your own. So this is always very proud of you. So also, boys and girls, I wanted to tell you about a new book that I put in, you grab it here. A new book that I put in your curriculum thing bag for this month. It's called The One and Only Ivan. So it's about a gorilla, and he lives in a zoo that's in a mall. So it's there's some parts that are kind of sad for Ivan, but then there's some really cool parts too. And so I asked your parents to read you a little bit each night during, like, before you go to bed, or even during the day, whenever it works for them, to read you a little bit each day about the story about the one and only Ivan. And so yeah, so it's a nice book. And so this is the book that's included this month in your curriculum bag for December, and you get to keep it. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know about that too. So I hope you guys have a great day. Always try your very best and work hard for your parents and be good listeners. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.